welcome to race day, people. How are you doing? Here we are with the formation lap for the second time. Sorry about that. We've had a very weird situation with the drivers, and it has not gone well. But here we are for a race. We're gonna get on with this. We're gonna cheer up a bit, aren't we? And I hope you're doing well today. What are you guys expecting from this race? I mean, you looking forward to anything at all? I mean, what's happening?
Oh yeah, they're just either crashing into people, and then I don't know what's going on. A couple three disqualified and currently sat on the grid. They'll have cold tyres, which is not what they would want, but you know it is what it is. Unfortunately, you know I expect a fun race. Harry currently sat in P2 right now. Jamie P4. George in P9 with Preston in P10. Following Charlie PA13, Callum and Rickvik 17 and 18th, and that's where everyone is at the moment. But to be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen this race.
I do apologise for the lack of a qualifying session in this video. Unfortunately, in me recording stages, it didn't go too well. But here we are for race. At least you get to see the race. That's the main thing, really, isn't it? But yes, the guys are warming up their tyres. Bailey, what are you expecting?
Honestly, I have no idea what to expect. I mean, with Harry up in P2 now, it's very solid for him. He hasn't had the best of starts to the season, but he's definitely still in contention. Of course, probably still in the first third of the season. So a solid race here today could definitely put him back in contention with the likes of Preston and Jamie and George and Charlie. But Charlie down in P13, I mean, he won't be too happy with that. But I'm sure he has the capabilities, as we've seen many a times this season, to fly up the order.
It's definitely going to be an interesting one, that is for sure. But we will have to go ahead and give the qualifying point to the Merc AI, because as you can see, the Merc is on top today, so definitely going to be an interesting one, that is for sure. But of course, you know, to do with the table, I'm pretty sure I'm still screen sharing, I am. What's your thoughts on the table? Because we haven't actually discussed this yet. Oh, actually, do not mind the table. I'm going to quickly do lights out, people, because it is not lights out, but now it's lights out, and away we go here in Azerbaijan, the Baku Street Circuit. What a not so great start for Harry, jumping down to P6. What's your thoughts on the start from everybody, guys? What have you noticed?
Jamie tried to send it down the inside of Harry. That's why he's down in P7. P7 right now.
There's a massive pile up in the middle. Sorry, with Bradley being the main one and Pierre Gasly, who is now out of the race. Bradley was facing the complete opposite way, so he has now lost so much time. Had about 6 or 7 drivers involved in it at least, and now they've got to try and make up that time with the top half of the pack. I do apologise for cutting you out.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine.
We do have Harry. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say Harry was got sent down the inside a couple times. Albon 5-second time penalty for a 9 yellow flags. But going back to the Harry situation, down into turn 1, he lost the positions to Russell and Hamilton. Then Jamie tried sending it down the inside, so tried squeezing his way through. Made a little bit of contact, but nothing major. Harry had to go a little bit wide. And then one of the McLarens who went sideways and literally went in front of Harry. That's why Harry's now down in P7 and not in the top 5.
One thing I do also have to flag up is, I was speaking about George earlier, he does have a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Ritvik. And Jamie, I think, has a penalty, yes. I just trying to make sure it was going through. He does have a penalty for driving through a yellow flag, I believe, or something like that.
Speeding under
and
the safety
Ritvik's
car.
out!
Oh no!
My apologies, Ritvik is out!
Again!
How does it happen?
What is going on?
Ritvik.
No. But yes, but safety car no longer, no more VSC. Callum going into the pits now. A few guys have gone into the pits, but it is lap 2 now. Ritvik has unfortunately gone out. What an unlucky return to the league for Ritvik. Charlie accidentally goes into the back of Mick Schumacher there. But who are you expecting to take this win today?
You know, it's quite interesting because the people I would expect to normally would win this race have penalties. Jamie's probably the closest to contention right now, Saturn P3. Don't exclude Preston, though. He is in P6 and he does have the pace. So, yeah, if Preston has the pace this race, he could probably challenge that win for the win today.
Yes, I definitely think he could, but I mean, to be honest, right now you got Callum at the bottom, you got Bradley, also on map P17, you got Harry in P10, still Charlie, the championship leader, in P12. How is that going to affect the championship?
Bailey?
I mean, it could come crucial, but of course, as you said, it still is only lap 2, and we've seen Charlie pull out some incredible pace throughout this season so far, and I'm sure this is the race where he'll look to find any last bit of pace that he can pull out of his car, especially in the early parts of this season. But I'm sure he'll be able to do it and at least try and challenge up towards the top, as George Russell now gets the fastest lap as a 146.6.
Now, the real George Pudding gets a 145.3 as the fastest lap now.
It's Jamie also in the pits. He is down into P12. Could even be lower.
What a mad race it has been so far at the very start. I mean, a massive build up at the start has led to a lot of pits, to be honest. The grid has been split. Some have made quite a good start, some have made not a great start. But yeah, what an interesting race we've had to start with. I mean, Harry going down to P9. What's happened to Harry here?
Yeah, Harry just didn't have the greatest of first couple laps, and he got it. To be fair, it was really not his fault. So he just lost positions because of not his own fault. You know, he hasn't done anything wrong. To be fair, Harry, I think after the race, he should probably look to review the lap 1 incident between him and Jamie, and then maybe with the McLaren one as well. We'll definitely have to have a look at that as well, because they were unnecessary dive bombs that were just never going to work. So we'll have a look about that just a little bit later. But, you know, Harry just getting very, very unfortunate, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But Bailey, any comments about anyone at all, or?
I mean, I've been keeping a close eye on Preston at the moment. He's putting pressure on Shinoda as we speak on this main straight, only half a second in between the two drivers, and it has been very close between them ever since the grid had split up, and I'm sure he'll look to get the overtake as soon as possible, as he is closing that gap as we speak.
And there goes Charlie just a second ago, gets round Nicholas Latifi, nice overtake on turn 1, went in on the inside of him, but nice overtake there by Charlie. But back to Bailey.
Back on Preston as well, as he collides with Shinoda a bit, wheel to wheel, locked up nearly between the two drivers, as Preston looks to pull away. Shinoda not giving up that too easily though, but now Preston going to look to get some major time, with George not far behind him either, and now Preston will look to gain on the Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz.
Peter, any comments at all about anything?
Yeah, George looking real fast. Obviously, Sonoda helping out George real good right here. But George will make the pass on Sonoda. Now his eyes are set on Preston. George is the faster man out of these two so far. And George did have the pace, but he will try to defend down into this tight hand left-hander and will now try to focus on Preston for the remainder of this race. But obviously, with this penalty he's got as well, this will affect him as well. So he will have to get past Preston and start to create a major gap, but he's now on the main straight. Will he make this pass on Preston? He'll probably deploying all his ERS or most of his ERS on this straight as he's getting this nice slipstream. Will he pull out to the left? Will he pull out to the right? He pulls up to the left hand side. They go wheel to wheel. He'll be the latest of breakers down into turn one. George makes this move and he's in front of Preston. He's one full car length in front of Preston and it's now into P4. Makes some beautiful move on Preston. Now he'll try to defend off Preston for the most of this race as Preston sort of brushes his barriers on the right hand side, but George will now set his eyes on Carlos Sainz.
And whilst that was going on, Harry managed to get the overtake on Lando Norris. I didn't really see what happened, but I came in at the very last second. It was a nice overtake by Harry, up to P8 now. And Jamie is batting away with Albon, goes in on the inside, but unfortunately goes a bit wide, but he manages to hold on to that position. But Albon, he's coming back straight for that position. Maybe go wheel to wheel. No, Albon can't catch up to him, but maybe he is now using that slipstream. Albon maybe going right up, hit Jamie a bit, and I believe Albon has hit the wall, and he has, and he's gone out.
And that's another safety car once again. So is this a VSC? No, it's a full-on safety car this time. So this will probably be the time for George to clear his penalty. Do you reckon it'll be a good idea to clear the penalty now and then work his way back up for the field?
You can't under a safety car or VSC. That is a fact for you right there. Jamie has unfortunately fell for that in the past, and it has costed him before. Yes, we'll see what happens with George, of course. But who's going to benefit the most from a safety car?
Well, you know, it's only lap 5, so no one really needs to pit this early on unless they're going to go for a 2-stop of this race, which can be quite risky in terms of strategy-wise. But if everyone plays it smart, then obviously I think that no one will really benefit. It will just only bring him closer. But I think if anyone was to benefit, actually, to be fair, I was about to say it was be Charlie, but Charlie is going to make a pit stop. So does Harry, as well, which is a surprise, which quite unusual to see. But here we go, Charlie into the pits. What will he have? He will have the hards for the remainder of this race, so he will try and make a pit stop that will last him to the end of this race. But now it's quite important that he makes a pit stop now to maybe get this undercut over the top drivers to put himself in a higher position later in the race.
One thing I do have to say about the incident between Jamie and Albon, it was a tad bit aggressive from Albon. He tried to take the inside where there was just no room whatsoever. You could argue that Jamie maybe forced him into the wall, so they might have to go into an investigation that I'm sure will be investigated later on after the race, and I'll definitely be looking back at it. But it didn't look too safe from my perspective. But
that is definitely interesting. But right now, I mean, what do you have? You have George in P4, Preston in P5. So that battle is definitely going to be a very fun and interesting thing to watch. You have Harry down in P12. You have Bradley in P14, Charlie P15, Jamie P16, and Callum in P17. But Callum is really, really far behind. What has happened to Callum?
I think he's pitted about 3 times already, I can't lie. Every time I've looked at his name, it said he's been in the pits. So I don't really know what's going on with him. But he is now on the hards. So, I mean, we all have got to hope that he hasn't got to pit again.
Interesting thing, I've just looked at Race Director and I've just looked at Callum and he's already made 3 pit stops. Or he's made 4 actually. He's gone from hards to mediums to hards to hards.
Not a clue why. Something must have happened, because that is ridiculous.
Yeah, just a little bit. What do you think, Dan?
To be honest, I wasn't. I was messaging. Very bad commentating by me. What? Would you kindly remind me what you were talking about? Oh, silence. That's not good.
We was talking about the fact that Cal has pitted from hards to mediums to hards again, and we're only 6 laps in.
I mean, to be honest, I can sort of see why. It's early on. You've still got 20 laps to go. It might work with longevity because everyone else will still have to pit. So it might actually work out. It's worked out for Harry before versus Preston in France back in season 2. So it could actually work out. Who knows?
But the amount of times he has pitted, even before the safety car, it's a bit questionable of what has happened. But with this safety car, it could work into his favour.
Yeah, totally. I think it could definitely work in his favour. You know. Silence once again.
Sorry. I'm just messaging. But right. Anyway, back to it. We still have the safety car here. You have Harry in that P12. You still have the Harry in P12. Can he? We know what Harry can do. Can he get back up? Do you think? What can he gain from his safety car?
Well, I mean, unless he's pitted, which I think he has. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if he's pitted, he'll gain a lot of positions when everyone goes to pit, which will put him in a much more greater advantage than others. But yeah, it would be the same with Charlie as well. And I don't know if Bradley's pitted or I mean, I'll check right now if Bradley has pitted. So Bradley has not yet pitted. And talk about the Callum situation. He's also had 3 front wing repairs as well.
Really?
Right.
3 front wings?
Yeah, that's where it goes from the mediums to the hard, from hard to mediums to hard to hards. So he's made 3 pit stops already for front wings. There's also, I'm just looking at incidents as well. Jamie having so Jamie had a lap 1 incident, collision. There's a lot of stuff that right here, which I'll look after the race as well. We'll keep note of that because it might be handy for us when we need to take further investigations towards the end of the race.
Yep.
But obviously, Callum not having the greatest of races. You're saying who do you reckon could benefit? Do you reckon Callum is really benefiting from this? From not this race, but from this safety car.
I think so. I mean, what was he? 1 minute behind. He's now 10 seconds behind. He's catching up. I think he, when the safety car goes in, he would have been caught up on most hards. Everyone's still to warm up their tyres, but he won't be. He will have still, I'm pretty sure, warm tyres. He'll be raring to go.
Yeah, I mean, if he just holds himself off for a little bit and just stays a little bit back, but when the cars start to get backed up, the tyres start to come cold because they're not putting temperature and they're not working them as hard as they should be, or should be treated as. But Callum will have the upper hand because the hards are a very hard compound to really warm up under safety car. So it's very imperative that that he does. But the lights have gone green, but we're waiting for safety car to go in. Lewis Hamilton will lead the way under the safety car. George will be looking to make moves on Carlos Sainz. Preston will be looking to make moves on George at the start of this safety car restart. But here we go. Lewis Hamilton now starting to speed up. So is the rest of the grid. George is closing up on... Oh, wait, not just yet. It looked like Hamilton was speeding up and then started to slow down. Maybe this is one of the tactics that the Mercs have in place to maybe get a better start. but both George and Preston get a brilliant restart. They both clear the Ferraris. George goes Preston goes into turn 1 lead and he makes a bit of contact with the Mercs, but George comes out into P4 behind Preston. Preston making a little bit of a reckless move there. What's going on?
What is going on is Callum was up in P11. He had a brilliant restart off the safety car, and then he just completely missed the turn-in and went straight into one of the barricades. Luckily, he wasn't going too quick, so he was able to turn it back around quickly. So he is still in P14. But, I mean, he could have capitalised on that beautifully and pushed on further.
But George now down to P6. He's dropped quite a bit. That's kind of crazy. But can we just appreciate Harry did not want to be around Jamie. He is now around Jamie again. If Jamie can catch up to Harry, I would love to see that battle. But Jamie still has some AIs to surpass before he can get to Harry and to battle away with him. Who knows what's going to happen here? But what's happening with Bradley? He's quite far down, to be honest.
Yeah, down in P17 right now. I'm not entirely sure. He seemed to have dropped back a bit. Both Lando and Bradley both towards the back of the grid and create a bit of a gap. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with them lot at the moment. Definitely not having a good weekend for the McLarens. But yeah.
It really isn't, to be honest. Whether McLaren can come back in it is going to be another question. But Preston up in P3. Bailey, what's your opinion? Can Preston win this?
I mean, as you said, he was in P3. He overtakes George Russell to take P2. Of course, he is still going to put the pressure back on him. But as we know, and as we love to watch, Preston's pace is impeccable in this Haas car. So he'll be looking to gain on Hamilton, already closing the gap. Just over 2.5 seconds between the two drivers. And I've said it all season in commentary. I love watching Preston race. He is so good
George
in the
car.
car.
He's gone off to the runoff area. Sorry to cut you off there, Bailey, but George just can't miss the braking zone and went straight off into the runoff area. And he's made contact with the barrier, and now he's dropped to P13.
Wow. Wow.
What a change of events for George this weekend. Charlie moves up into P10. It makes a little bit of contact there, I think, with Jamie there, I think. But, wow. Dan, what's your thoughts?
Jamie, I mean, I wasn't really watching, to be honest, but Jamie, I mean, he is getting up there. He is not letting up. He is really going for it today, ain't he?
Yeah, Jamie driving like a man with nothing to lose this weekend, like he probably should be. He's currently under pressure by the championship leader of Charlie, but yeah.
But they are currently in a battle. Jamie unfortunately hit the wall, and now Charlie has taken advantage and gone ahead of Jamie, but Jamie may be bouncing back, wants the position back. Can he take it back? That's the question. It almost hits the wall again. Jamie is not giving up, people. He is really going for it today. Whether he can catch up or not is another question, because his ERS has been completely drained. All he has is that slipstream. No DRS, unfortunately. But Jamie will not let up at all. Callum, what a recovery. Back up to P12.
Yeah, great restart. Like I said, if you just hang back a little bit from the group, your tyres will be in a better position than most cars in the pack, because they're not warming up. They're so bunched up that they can't accelerate. So all they can really do is start moving side to side and hope that they warm up the fronts. But that's all it would do, though. But great restart, and that's definitely what he needed. And he's probably the person who's benefited from the safety car the most from this race so far.
George, what's happened to George down in P16 though?
Yeah, George literally went off into a runoff area after turn. Oh, Jesus Christ! And he makes contact with the barrier in the same place where he locked up and made a couple of mistakes. It is another safety car on lap 11, as we see right now. So George, he's already switched from one compound to another, so he can probably switch to the mediums if he's smart enough to do that. But George just not having a good weekend. Charlie will probably look to maybe pit. What's your guys' thoughts right now?
Bailey?
I mean, a lot is going on. Preston's still putting the pressure on towards the top.
Oh no, George getting a drive-through penalty again.
It's his second penalty of the race, and he's retired from the session now.
What a chaotic race we've had today.
Disappointing. But as Preston is now in P1 in the pits, I'm sure Lewis Hamilton will come back out and overtake him again. Yes, he's about to, I'm sure.
Oh no,
but one person I would like to talk. Go on, sorry.
Preston keeps that P2 position. Charlie goes up in that P1 position. Lewis Hamilton drops down to P3. This is once again a battle between Preston and Charlie. Who's coming out victor?
You know, it's 50-50, to be honest, because it's dependent on what other driver, like what they're on, what compounds they're on as well. I think that Charlie's, they're both on the hards right now. So both drivers in the top two are on hards. Charlie will be looking to get a fourth win of the season. Preston to probably be looking to equal this win rate at the moment of 3 wins in this season. So he'll be looking to try and take this win from Charlie. And it'll be quite important that Preston takes this win today as well to start to close up on Charlie in the championship.
Bailey, your opinion on the whole situation?
I mean, it's definitely going to be an interesting battle. We've seen it 1 or 2 times this season between Charlie and Preston, and I've enjoyed it every time I've watched it from a personal spectating view, and I'm sure they will give us an entertaining battle, as they always do. But I feel like, I don't have enough praise for both the drivers and their abilities in these cars, but for me, the amount I talk about Preston, I feel like it will pay off today, and I reckon he could pip it today.
Yeah, it could really pay off, to be fair. But who knows? Currently, this has not been a good day for... We mentioned it wasn't a good day for McLaren. It's not been a good day for Red Bull. Ferrari making sure the Red Bull of Sergio Perez could not get out of the pit. So Jamie was also held up. And now Jamie is in the pits as well. But this has not been a good day for Red Bull.
Yeah, definitely not good when I think they're competing for their constructors as well. So, you know, and the drivers as well. Jamie is also competing for the drivers and constructors. So it's imperative that they both cars are scoring points, scoring as many points as they can during a race weekend. So obviously with the safety car, they will catch up eventually. But they've already been lapped, so they'll have to unlap themselves and get to the back of that safety car as quickly as possible, so that they can then maybe start to challenge other drivers.
I definitely think it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. But hopefully, the safety car does. Okay, I swear I just heard Deji or something in the background.
It was Jamie.
Jamie. Fair enough. I just thought I don't know, to be honest. But hopefully the safety car does go in very soon. We shall see, of course. But I mean, this is a real chance for Preston. You know, you have currently Charlie top of the championship, but Jamie, George, and Preston are closing in. You have currently George gone out. Jamie, P14. Preston could really climb here, to be honest. And so could Harry in P5, to be fair. Bradley as well in P7. I think there's a chance for 3 of them, don't you guys?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if Charlie, if it stands like this, the standings will grow further and Charlie will have a much more greater advantage. Obviously, it's only race 9 or 8. It's race 8 or 9 right now. So, it's still early on in the season. Things can still take a turn of events, but obviously Charlie will be looking to hold a big gap over the other drivers. For the rest of the season, because he will probably look to be the season 3 champion, as he'll probably look to try and get this championship wrapped up. I mean, Dan, I don't think you've ever had someone wrap up a championship this early, and I don't have. Well, it's not over yet, but obviously, do you reckon that? Well, let me just ask this first, though. Do you reckon that we can see Charlie wrap up this championship as early as probably Monaco or Saudi?
No.
Why not?
I think it would go down to wire. I think currently Jamie is in a... I know he's down there right now, but apart from this race, he's been putting on very good performances recently. Preston, whenever he comes in, very good performances. So does George. Normally, these guys, I don't think Charlie can wrap this up so easily. I really think this will go down to wire. And you said that you don't think you've had someone take the championship this early on. Normally, Preston did in season 1. Well, that's a fact for you.
What was the gap quite big though?
Yes, it was. It was very big.
Do you remember the gap, or roughly what the gap size was?
I can get it up for you if you want. I can't tell you what the gap was. I can tell you what the gap was at the end of it.
Oh yeah. Then that's what I wanted to know. Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Keep talking, you two, and I will find it for you.
Is Bailey heading to you?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to be a very crucial start off the safety car for all of our drivers. Cal, of course, had a very solid start after being a minute to 10 seconds behind, now up into P12. But we're still going to have a good few laps with the safety car, with Perez, Jamie and Sainz all a very decent amount of time behind everyone else. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Jamie will be able to capitalise on this as much as he can. And with Harry in P5, of course, if he can push Alonso and Hamilton out the way, a 3-horse race between 3 of the top 5 drivers in the Drivers' Championship at the moment, it could be a very interesting and very crucial race towards the back end of the season.
Race control. Safety car in this lap. As the lights are now green, Charlie will control the restart of this safety car and will look to hold off the drivers behind, such as Preston, as he starts to accelerate and then de-accelerate to maybe get this gap. But Preston will try to look to get alongside him and maybe just not get caught off guard. But now Charlie starts to full on pace it down the main straight now. Preston getting a real good slipstream, but he had to slow down because he can't pass him until the leader crosses the line. But now he can, as he'll try to go around the outside, down into turn 1. Will Preston make the move? Yes, he will. He goes slightly wide, but Charlie comes back into P1. Charlie will look to hold this outside line, will now hold off this for the meanwhile. But Preston caught Charlie napping into turn 1. Almost had him there, but Charlie did, with some great skill, put it back into P1 and now leading this the safety car restart.
Right, I have the scores of season 1 if you want to hear them.
Go on then.
Right, so for the constructors first, right, it was 3 teams, of course. Third place had 114, that was Red Bull. Second place, Mercedes, was 142. First place was Callum and Preston, 362.
Jesus.
And the Drivers' Championship, should we go from bottom or just want to know the top 2?
I just want to know what the gap between was from first to second, really.
Right, between Callum and Preston, Callum had 155 points. Preston had 207.
Jesus.
Preston was ultimately dominant in season 1. Callum got a few wins. I won't take that away from him. He got a few wins and he was a good driver. He battled with Preston many times, but Preston always came up on top. That's just a fact for you.
Yeah, talking about Preston right now, though, once again getting a beautiful slipstream down the pit straight, as Charlie will look to defend the inside, but Preston will look to probably go around the outside like he did again at the safety car restart. He'll make the same move again. He'll go around the outside, but Charlie once again holding that inside line and keeping that P1 slot. Will Preston needs to try something different because he's just becoming a one-trick pony right now, and it's so easy to read him, and Charlie can just defend him that easily. But this won't matter right now because Preston's using up his ERS, going down into turn 3. Charlie locks up a little bit. He goes a little bit deep into the corner. Preston now up into P1. This is a brilliant battle. But Charlie sends a dive bomb, but slides into Preston. But Preston still maintains that P1. Little bit reckless there from Charlie, but Charlie gave that position because he did see that he was a little bit wrong in that and gave it back. So all sorted there between those two, but Preston now up into P1. Heading over to you, Bailey. No.
I mean, I'm just looking at the back end of the table. Callum has just overtook Yuki Tsunoda, who we have to say, early on in the race, Yuki Tsunoda was up in P4, P5. So what a downfall that has been, that we've kind of just let slip under the radar. Of course, not the best news for me, of course, being from AlphaTauri. But with Pierre Gasly out as well, it's not what I want to be seeing. But I'm hoping he can come back. But Cal has had a very decent start off the safety car yet again, as he looked to gain on Valtteri Bottas and try and secure some points out of this race.
And can we talk about Harry and Bradley for a minute? I mean, Harry in P5, Bradley in PA. What do they have to do to get up there? Is there anything they can do? I mean, Bradley potentially doing what he needs to do right now. Sees the Haas of Mick Schumacher, but Mick Schumacher tries to close him off, and he does. But Bradley going again on the outside. Mick takes the inside line, but it's not enough. Bradley just gets ahead, wheel to wheel. Now, Mick going for the inside line again, and it might just be what Mick needs, but it's not. With DRS, Bradley storms ahead of Mick and takes that P7 position. But the Williams of the go-to-fee, that is right, Nicholas Latifi is on Bradley's tail now, but can Bradley defend off the go? No, he can't. Go-to-fee manages to make it past, and Bradley's back down to P8 now, with Mick Schumacher just coming in behind him.
Yeah, Go-Tifi definitely putting in a shift right here, overtaking the McLaren of Bradley and Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher was a sitting duck on that string because he had no DRS, whereas Bradley and Go-Tifi definitely did. Brilliant move from Go-Tifi though, around the outside into turn 3 from Go-Tifi.
Bailey, any thoughts?
He's called the GOAT for a reason. It was a beautiful little double overtake of Schumacher and Bradley. Now, Latifi and Schumacher have just completely swapped places. And P7 is a very, very solid result. I believe it would be his first... Oh no, it would not be his first points. So he got a point in Austria. But P7, it'll be more than doubling, tripling his points from Austria. So if he can maintain this and keep above Bradley, but more important news, Charlie in P1 just off the back of the main straight, and Preston not enough distance, not enough lack of distance to try and get the overtake, as Charlie is now looking to push away from him in the final 8 laps. As Latifi and Bradley are also now battling wheel to wheel as we speak. Bradley just peeping ahead, and Latifi is trying to get that back. Bradley's not going to make it easy for him, but Latifi does get back P7. The absolute GOAT, in his name, it is his nature to pull out performances.
I'll tell you now, I know we're talking about real F1 here, but I'm going to miss Goethe, the real Goethe, when he leaves F1. I mean, it's just injustice, to be honest. I mean, you know, why does the GOAT have to be kicked out, Williams? I mean, why not Albon? You know, it's not like Goethe became P20 the whole season, or not.
Yeah, he was just that good that they just thought they decided to get rid of him. They was like, yeah, he's too good. He needs to be I mean, after all, he does have, I'm pretty sure, one championship and one assist to his name as we speak. Only GOATs have that kind of record and stats in F1, as we all know.
That's
But
true.
yeah.
But can we talk about Harry a second? We'll focus on Preston in a minute because I see him coming back for Charlie. But Harry, can he get back up on Lewis Hamilton? Can he overtake him? Can he get higher, maybe a podium?
Yeah, I mean, definitely right now he's going to get a beautiful slipstream unless Hamilton gets DRS off of Fernando. Harry should definitely get a beautiful slipstream down this pit straight as he seems to be gaining and gaining and gaining, but it just won't be enough. But Harry does try to send it down the inside of Lewis Hamilton. There he goes, down into turn 1. They go wheel to wheel, now down into turn 2. Who will be the latest from the brakes? But it's Harry once again, but Hamilton comes out on top because Harry can't do nothing about that. Harry deploying Oyo DRS down this straight again because he wants to get past Hamilton. He's desperate to get this podium. He's desperate to get this top 4. But he makes the move happen this time, and now he's still going wheel to wheel with Lewis Hamilton as we speak right now. But Hamilton sends it down the inside once again. Hamilton and Harry fighting it away for P4 and 5.
And now Harry might be pulling away, but he can't. It's still wheel to wheel. But no, there we go. Harry has secured the P4 position, and now he has 2.6 seconds to make up on Fernando Alonso to get that podium position. Can he do that, or will Lewis Hamilton bounce back? I'm sure we'll find out very, very soon. But we're going to go back up to Preston in a second, who is gaining on Charlie. Now a 0.5 second gap. As you could probably tell, my voice is going high pitch. So that's brilliant. My voice is going for the 3rd week in a row. Who doesn't love that, eh? But can Preston get him on this straight?
Yeah, definitely. This is what Charlie did to Preston. This is going to be the exact same move that Charlie did to Preston. So Preston will be looking to do the same thing that Charlie did to him not that many laps ago. But here we go. Preston getting once again a beautiful slipstream down the pit straight. He will have ERS and DRS. He'll pull down to the inside and not the outside this time. He's learned from trying to make these moves before. But will Charlie make this move happen? No, Charlie will now have to settle for P2 this time, and Preston did beautiful defending right there to hold him off and to squeeze him out just a little bit so he can maintain his P1. But as we see yellow sector 2 flags being waved right now for a Red Bull for Callum. Callum's now being DNF'd, and it's another safety car once again. Full, I think this is the third or fourth safety car now this race. Now it's imperative for the last 6 laps of this race. This is going to be some massive decision making from the top 2, maybe even the top 5, because they will want to make the most. They won't want to finish on this compound to the end of the race. So will they opt to go on the softs? Dan, Bailey, what's your thoughts? What do you think there's going to happen?
I mean, if I was one of the teams of Alpine or Haas, I'd be looking at getting a pit in just to try and get that extra bit of fresh. I'd be looking at the softs, they'd be staring into my soul, and they'd be the answer for me. But it's all down to what the drivers think is best. I don't know their tyre wear, so if they feel it's fine, then it could be massive that one of them does come out on top with a tyre that is good enough to finish this race. And just as the safety car was called, I thought it was for Jamie, as he was just going around in circles. I don't really know what's going on there, but then I did see Callum DNF, so something must have happened that we missed.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what happened either. I was watching the top and I see yellow sector 2 flags being waved. I can definitely see what happened in the incidences, but as you two speak, you can continue on.
Preston is now in the pits. Sorry, Charlie has opted not to pit, and neither is Fernando Alonso or Harry. So Harry is now in P3, Fernando Alonso in P2, and his Alpine teammate Charlie, the leader of the season so far, in P1, in lap 21 of 26. And Preston seems to be the only one that has pitted out of anyone. But could that come crucial on the softs? He'll be able to make up a lot of time with these softs.
Yeah, well, he can definitely warm these tyres up, so he will definitely have an advantage over everyone else who will be on the harder compounds. I can definitely tell you right now, but everyone right now above Preston is on the hard compound, so they will have a hard time trying to light these compounds up, whereas Preston can light this up as quick as a feather and get on with it and maybe get a brilliant restart because he'll have a quicker compound than the rest of them.
I'm just gonna put what Preston's about to do in 2 words, and Peter, I think you understand what I mean because I think I've explained it to you before. But Bailey, if you don't, I'll explain it to you. Don't worry. Sochi moment right here. That's all I'm saying. Sochi moment. It's gonna happen. You get what I mean, Peter?
Yeah, I definitely get what you mean there, mate. If you know, you know.
Yeah, Bailey, do you understand?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. He definitely watched Sochi season 1. That's for sure. If you what race you on now? You going through season 1, aren't you? Currently, or are you?
I am. I haven't watched too much of it, to be honest. If I'm brutally honest with you. Let me have a look. History of YouTube.
History. Lovely. I'm
on Canada. So.
Oh, you're on that one. Oh, you're not going to enjoy that one, let's just say. That was a laggy piece of shit.
Oh, God.
Enjoy. Yes, we still have the safety car here. Not much has changed, because again, a safety car. Bradley and Preston together, P6, P7. What can happen there?
Well, one thing I'm going to tell you that it's not going to stay like that for long. No offense to Bradley, but Preston has definitely got the pace right now. He's on fire right now, and he's ready to get going. He's eager to be going. So yeah, I think that he will definitely be looking to get going right now because he wants as many laps as he can as possible to challenge Charlie. The closest person to challenge Charlie right now is Harry. So all he has to do is clear Fernando, and then he can challenge Charlie, and then maybe scrap for a little bit, and then bring Preston back in, and then Preston walks away with the win.
I mean, I do think it is crucial that it is Alonso behind Charlie because Alonso could just do a lot of defending and a lot of the dirty work for Charlie as he tries to breeze through the end of this race. So that could be the major factor that stops Harry or anyone else behind him catching up.
Yeah, so Fernando acting as a rear gunner for the Alpine team right now, securing a 1-2 as it would stand it to the end of the race if it was the last lap. But it's not the last lap, it's lap 22 out of 26. Fernando has to do a lot of mighty effort right here to hold off Harry, who we all know can be quite fast, but obviously after scrapping with Lewis Hamilton lost quite a bit of time to Fernando. But now it is safety car in this lap now. It is important that Preston clears and gets a brilliant restart now. Who will come out on top with these last 4 laps of the race? Charlie backing them all up now, slowing them all down. You can see Harry in the background weaving and bobbing them in, and it makes a bit of contact with Fernando Alonso. That might be a penalty right there as he sort of gets brake checked by the Alpine team right there. But as we go now, Charlie is now pacing away as Fernando Alonso is backing up Harry. Harry will now pull to the inside now, and now he can pass Fernando Alonso down into turn 1. Who will be the better driver? Who will come out on top? It will not be Harry so far. Fernando Alonso maintains this P2, but Harry comes through with the move, and now up into P2. He now has to fight his way through to get to Charlie.
And we do want to talk about Preston. He is right on everyone's tail. Overtook Bradley already. Now he's overtook George Russell. Looking at Lewis Hamilton. He's got him in his sights. A little bit of contact between the two drivers, which has given Hamilton a little bit of space and time. But Fernando Alonso, I think he did just do enough to delay Harry of any major ability to catch. And with these final few laps, I'm sure Charlie will be able to push through and maintain this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this might not work out in Preston's favour, but who knows? We've still got 3 laps of racing, or 3 or 4 laps of racing still, my bad. But as Preston now is on the back of Lewis Hamilton's tail, what will Preston do here? Will he make the move? Will he be patient? Will he wait into the back straight? He probably should be making the move roughly now because he wants to get past as many drivers as he can. As he goes down the inside of Lewis Hamilton, makes the move, and now up into P4. Next person in front, Fernando Alonso. That won't be as hard because he's on the softer compound, so he's making these moves relatively easy and without causing any time loss, as he now gets a beautiful slipstream off of Fernando down the pit straight like he has done in the past with the other Alpine of Charlie, as he will look to probably go around the outside. What will he do? He's going to try to send a dummy. He goes to the outside of Fernando Alonso. He set a purple sector 3, but he goes round the outside. They make a little bit of contact, but Preston up into P3. Now, next driver is Harry. Harry with 2 or 3 laps now of racing. What's going to happen, guys?
Well, I think
Go on. Go on. Sorry.
I think it's going to be a crazy one, to be honest. The battle between these 3. We haven't seen Harry have a top flight battle this season. I don't think he's been on a podium yet this season. So it could be his first podium of the season today. Can he hold on? Can he get the win against Charlie? I'm definitely wanting to see it.
He's only 8 tenths off of Charlie, so Charlie has dropped off in pace, and you can tell that those hards that he's had now for a long time are definitely wearing out as compared to Harry's. Will be a lot more better in performance-wise, unless Charlie's looked after him very nicely, which I doubt he has. He's been pushing him quite hard and definitely to its limits. And we'll be looking to make a move. There is no DRS. It will be inactivated after this lap. So Harry will have a better shot at trying to get the race victory.
Still can't count Preston out of the conversation though. He loves this main straight that he's about to get onto with Charlie and Harry not too far ahead. Only 2 seconds between P1 and P3. There's a sector 3 as Jamie is out of the race.
DRS is now enabled this lap. Hey, we'll try to go round the outside of Charlie, but Charlie just blocks him off and says, not happening. But now Harry says, I'm going to try and make a move on you, but looks down the inside, he forces him to go late into that corner. Harry has the beautiful X, whereas Charlie doesn't. Who will be better? Harry is now up into the race lead, going down into turn 3. He will be late on brakes. And Charlie's made a bit of contact and made Harry almost spin out there. That will Preston definitely will be getting looked at as well, as I just saw Preston make some contact, major contact with Harry after making the move on Charlie. Harry will definitely not be happy right now. But there is a couple laps of racing left, and Charlie is looking not as strong on those hards as he once was, maybe earlier on in the race.
But Harry has just got the overtake on George Russell there. He's now after the Alpine of Fernando Alonso. He wants this podium. He is not giving up yet. He is going full power into these last for 1.5, maybe 1.25 laps left.
Yeah, now Preston, because DRS has been activated this lap, he has to get DRSs. He goes slightly wide into that corner. He's only 8 tenths of a second behind Charlie, so he will have DRS this lap. He will be quicker, faster and better on this straight compared to Charlie. Let's see what Preston can do now. Preston now getting a nice slipstream. Harry looking quite, Charlie looking quite slow. He's gaining, but just can't do anything this lap. It is the last lap of the race. So what can be done? Can Preston get this move done for the race win? Can Charlie hold him off? It's not over just yet. but he will have another shot at the bite of the cherry right now with another.
Oh,
DRS going down the back straight now, lagging out a little bit there for him. He did, but he'll look down to go down the inside, makes up a little bit of contact he did there with Charlie, but he's going to probably be a bit more patient.
Oh, he spun him out!
Oh, no!
He's gone into the back end.
Charlie has been spun out by
So
Preston.
hold up, Preston has spun out Harry and Charlie.
But Preston letting Charlie back through because he knew that was his bad, so he slowed down for him. And like a true sportsman, like he is, fair racer, so he let Charlie back through, so there's no investigation needed there.
Has that
as they both
costed
slowed down
Preston
track.
a win, Mo?
Say again?
I said, has that costed Preston a win?
No, it won't have costed Preston the win just yet, though, because he'll have DRS. So if he sits behind him now, he has a nice chain these corners together beautifully. This could be very, very good for Preston and could take a third race win of the season and equal Charlie with the same amount of race victories.
And I'm pretty sure Preston, yes, will go ahead of George in the championship. By getting whatever position he does from now on. But he's coming down to the final straight. He is 0.2 seconds behind Charlie, using that slipstream, using that DRS now on Charlie, going on the outside. Charlie trying to block him off. And Preston takes a win. Oh my god.
And
What
Preston,
a finish
ladies
to
and
this
gents,
race.
And Preston takes the win by a bite of the margin, and it is a very, very close margin between those two. What a way to win a third race victory.
Here we go with the podium. Preston for the second time this season, I believe. For the third time this season, walking out to that first place podium. He has now overtaken George and maybe Jamie in the championships. I'm not too sure. I will check that. But from my calculations, Jamie hasn't got any points, right? And Preston gets 25 points. So yes, he has gone ahead of George and Jamie in the championship, and he's on the tail of Charlie. What a battle. And here we are with the leaderboard. You have Preston in P1, Charlie in P2. You have Harry taking him at P5, Jamie in at P14, and unfortunately, Callum taking him at P15, George taking P16, and Ritvik does DNF, but so does Callum and George. I haven't read that properly, but yes, what a great battle to end this race. Thank you all for joining us here in Azerbaijan, and we'll see you next week for whatever race it is. I can't remember, but see you next week, guys. Goodbye.